What did I eat today? 2 protein bars.
What time? What'd you break fast with? What time did you wake up?
I woke up at I woke up at 12:30 today.
In the afternoon? Is that a normal thing? Yeah, that's fair, bro. I've been there. You have no idea who you're talking to. I've literally been King Degenerate, just sitting on my ass all day, playing video games, watching YouTube. No job. I've been there. That's why I find it hilarious when all this optimization talk has been underlined with me not even realizing you have to get your fucking sleeping right first. I just want to put it in perspective. I used to have to wake up at 3:45. I would be at work at 4:30. I would train the first class at 5 a.m. I would train people all day from 5 a.m. until noon. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, noon. 7 hours. I've already been up for 5 hours by the time you're awake, by the time you're first waking up. All that means is your days become shorter, and then your justifications for certain complacency become stronger because you don't have literally enough time in the day at that point. And so I should have caveated all this with asking what time you woke up, what time you go to bed, because that honestly can tell me a big reason why a lot of your actions may not be as optimal or as comfortable as they otherwise could be.
The champion mindset. And that's why people couldn't stand Michael Jordan, because they were like, they're like, bro, we can't be you. And he's like, well, I don't care. Try your hardest to be the best you.
Not only is change needed, listen, change is inevitable.
It's inevitable.
It's like I said, all this stuff that I'm getting, it's that I'm internalizing. It's something that I'm still synthesizing, still trying to understand, but it's unlocking more and more. You know what I mean? It means a lot.
It's awesome, dog, because again, dude, if I didn't, it's just like the coaches, if they're not on your ass, they don't care, right? It's like if I didn't care, I wouldn't consistently be on your shit. And I can only imagine the sort of genius you will continue to manifest whenever you have a consistent basis of optimization in your day-to-day. And you're doing it, brother. And that's the beautiful part, because you're doing it with your base fitness A1. And I do hella respect that. And again, I want to get to kind of like what your goals actually are and everything else. But no matter what your goals are, no matter what you want to do fitness-wise, no matter what you want to do career-wise, none of that matters if your vessel isn't A1. And your vessel is fueled by certain foods and certain macronutrients that should at least be considered and understood at a fundamental level before you even think about adding anything else on that plate.
Now that I think about it, I think the reason why I struggle with this so much is that for pretty much my entire life, the nutrition at any time in my life was always on one extreme or the other. I've never been accustomed to that happy medium balance, because, you know, when I was overweight and obese, I was so used to the extreme of eating extreme junk food, but like not being self-aware of like how detrimental it was.
Right.
But then once I started, you know, losing weight, it was kind of on the extreme of not eating enough. Not anorexia, thank God, but like it was just on that extreme. And then whenever I started understanding the nutrition part of eating clean, I was so extreme on that, like so extreme, like a million miles an hour. And it's always been on one side or the other. And that idea of just like finding that balance and medium is such foreign territory to me that it scares the living shit out of me.
So how do we address that? And how do we find that equal medium?
The way I've been doing it, as I told you, was that at least I'm keeping in mind of what I need to put in my body. For example, protein, carbs, easy.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: the 100 grams of protein isn't enough.
I mean, it's crazy because
how much do you? It's crazy because what?
No, it's crazy because, you know, at one point I was doing 300 grams a day.
That's my point. But that's you're better off doing that than 100. But 300 isn't sustainable. Probably isn't as sustainable for you as 100 would be. But you should think about the science is continually changing. The science isn't changing. Our discovery on the implications of certain routes within the science is continually changing. They say generally a rule of thumb is you should have 1 pound per body weight. So how much do you weigh?
160.
You should be eating at least 160 grams of protein. See how you're 60 grams off? And again, but it's not about being perfect. It's about knowing how to be efficient enough. But that efficient enough requires a level of uncomfort that's going to take significant volunteering of sacrifice and suffering that you're not going to be able to get. No different than even if I walked you to the pond, you still got to reach your neck down and drink the water yourself. So let's think about what that looks like, though. All it looks like for you, bro, is watching that video that I have, right? Going on MyFitnessPal, tracking your food, knowing what your macronutrients should be. When you have that base set of macronutrients down, you need to just meet that every day. But you see how all that effort requires a certain level of interest, and that interest can't be substantiated if you're just coasting.
And also, like, aside from interest is having a goal. You know what I mean? And
what is your goal?
Like I said, right now it's just to keep myself active. Like, I've been in that both sides of losing weight and wanting to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your goal right now is to be active. Fine.
Yeah.
What's your nutrition look like day to day in terms of junk food to clean food? What's the ratio look like?
Let me think about this.
And not even junk food. We'll call it convenience food. Effort food versus convenience food. How much of the food are you eating a day are you cooking versus you're just getting it from somebody? And if your parents are cooking it, I'll let that slide and say you're cooking it.
It's very zigzag for sure. From what I know from the top of my head, it can be very zigzag. It's kind of hard to tell just thinking about it.
What did you eat today?
What did I eat today? 2 protein bars.
What time? What'd you break fast with? What time did you wake up?
I woke up at 12:30 today.
In the afternoon? Is that a normal thing? Dude.
Only when don't have work the next day or have work that morning.
Okay, in the mornings you have work. What time are you waking up?
8:30ish.
And what time? How many days a week is that?
It used to be 5, but now it's only 2.
So 2 days a week, you're waking up at 8:30, but every other day of the week, you're waking up at noon.
Not necessarily, but I understand what you mean.
Well, I need to know what's necessarily. Well, I mean,
because that's only because I stayed up pretty late.
Is that a normal thing?
It changes from time to time, but sometimes it can be, sometimes it won't.
What's the average time you wake up on days you don't go to work? Or don't go to work early?
Usually it's around between 10:30 and 11:30. Usually when I'm not working or when I'm really, around 10:30 or 11:30. Around there.
Even if it's 10:30, I just want to put it in perspective. I used to have to wake up at 3:45. I would be at work at 4:30. I would train the first class at 5 a.m. I would train people all day from 5 a.m. until noon. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, noon. 7 hours. I've already been up for 5 hours by the time you're awake, by the time you're first waking up. All that means is your days become shorter, and then your justifications for certain complacency become stronger because you don't have literally enough time in the day at that point. And so I should have caveated all this with asking what time you woke up, what time you go to bed, because that honestly can tell me a big reason why a lot of your actions may not be as optimal or as comfortable as they otherwise could be. Mm-hmm. What time do you usually go to bed every night?
Usually it can stem between 1 to 2:30 a.m. Because I try to justify it in my own head. It's like, if I at least get 6 hours minimum,
that's good. At least you're doing that.
Then I should be fine.
But you're getting like 9. If you're waking up
on some
waking
days
up at 10:30. Yeah, that's fair, bro. I've been there. You have no idea who you're talking to. I've literally been King Degenerate, just sitting on my ass all day playing video games, watching YouTube. No job. I've been there. That's why I find it hilarious when all this optimization talk has been underlined with me not even realizing you have to get your fucking sleeping right first. Why do you think you're not sleeping until 1 or 2 a.m.? Because you're not earning it. Is that safe to say, or is that unfair?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's
do you think you're earning your sleep every day?
I don't really think about it.
I know you don't think about it because that's why you don't earn it. That's why you can go to bed at 1 or 2 a.m. It's a pretty self-evident answer, especially with respect to me knowing legit what your personal life is like.
Mhm.
And I'm just saying with respect to like being self-sufficient, being, again, I'll cut this shit out, but like living at home, all that shit, right? That I'm saying because you still live at home and shit, bro, like you're not even doing the base fucking minimum to be like independent, being uncomfortable, being independent. So then being uncomfortable, being independent, and then being optimal. That's why a lot of my boys, like on Facebook, a lot of the men that I went to high school with that are super depressed, that are super lost and don't know what to do with their life, 9 times out of 10, it's because their day-to-day is caught up in just surviving in their 9 to 5. So they don't have the energy to actually commit to the 5 to 9 of being a better version of themselves. So for you, like a lot of your shit is you almost caveating the struggle of I don't have enough time and I'm trying my best, and like the efforts are like they are substantiated. I'm not trying to shit on your efforts, but you're able to have these efforts on a free wave of dependency. And because of that, it's like your effort should be 50 times more than everybody else's fucking efforts because you don't have to pay rent. Because you don't have to buy your food every week. Does that make sense?
Yeah. There's still a lot of things I need to figure out.
For sure, brother. And it's not, again, Rome wasn't built in a day. And I only say that because you should be able to identify that and take advantage of it. You should be able to say, you're right, Mitch, because I am staying at home, I will be able to add more rigorous discipline on my plate because I don't have to worry about the rigorous discipline of being independent.
At the time, I think it's when I hear the words, I don't understand the magnitude of what those words really, or what you say really means until I see it for myself and experience. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, for example, living in the truth, like I didn't really know what that meant until recently. And
took you a year to figure it out.
Yeah. And it's, like I said, a part of me wants to feel bad for not knowing, or maybe I should, but I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to, start sulking or dwelling or nothing.
For sure, brother. I'm only saying a part of you that wants to be a victim is always justified because you and me as neurotic, emotional men always want to justify our neuroticism as being a victim. But when are we going to say enough's enough?
It really comes down to the individual and their own experiences. That's really what it comes down to, honestly. And it's like, just really, really comes down to the individual.
Yep.
So it's, for me, when enough's enough, only time will tell, really.
Sure, brother.